everyone and welcome to a new video from Your Overwatch. I'm Eddie the Chump and today we're going to talk about Brigitta. We're going to share with you some of the lessons we've learned about how to best utilize her kit and what playstyle best suits her. Now there's going to be effectively two sections. The first is going to talk about the larger context of say the team comps and the maps that Brigitta should be used on, and the second is going to be a look at her kit and how the utility it offers helps shape her best playstyle. And the first detail that we want you to keep in mind while playing her is that she needs to fight and be active to get value. A lot of that has to do with her passive, Inspire. Because of the way that her healing utility is broken down, you want her passive to do the main heavy lifting of the healing with her. The repair kit is great and does have some very specific and powerful uses which we'll go into later on, but the fact that it's on a cooldown means that you want to save it for a very deliberate, impactful use. So to get the most healing value out of her, you really need to be proccing that Inspire passive as often as you can. She really is a frontline support, and it's because of all this that she pairs really well with comps that want to brawl. She's pretty good herself when directly fighting, but it's about how much better she makes other heroes that also want to do that. Reinhardt is perhaps her best pairing. I can't believe it, lore accurate synergy, people. She helps Ryne fight in story and in the game. With you backing him up with extra heals and armor, your Ryne teammate will never have more fun pressing forward mouse 1 if you play her correctly. That's not to say that she can't work with say a Winston and a Zarya, but because she can't move fast herself, you'd probably need a Lucio as well to get her in the place she needs to be at the right time. Remember, the rule of thumb is she needs to fight to get access to her full value, so she works best in comps that facilitate that, like Ryne Death Balls. So because of this, her map applicability is very similar to those comps. Think Attack King's Row for example, where the map geometry facilitates this brawl playstyle and main tank choice. Likewise, Eichenwald Third Defense, where its cramped layout allows Brigitta the opportunity to really get involved and get that value. The places not to play her are on maps with wide open spaces and layouts that allow your opponents to just avoid you. It's very similar to Ryne's viability in that way. Anywhere he isn't very effective, chances are that's true of Brigitta too. Another context that she's not great in, which might surprise some people, is in bunker comp defenses. And the reason is, although her kit can still be useful, she might not get the chance to be active enough to warrant the pick. Bunker comp is a spam keep away style. Brigitta treats fights much less like a spectator sport. She wants to get involved. A main healer that is more comfortable in a passive playstyle would make more sense in that context. What you don't want with Brigitta is a situation where you're just standing around with not much to do. You won't be able to proc Inspire often enough, and the repair kit utility won't be up to the task of filling that gap. It's actually a big part of the reason why Brigitta and Orisa don't really work all that well in general. Orisa wants to keep everyone at arm's length, whereas Brigitta's like, nah, bring on the fight. Now that we've covered a bit of the basics about where, when, and with whom you should play Brigitta, let's take a little bit of a deeper look at her utility and identify exactly how to play her. First off, let's talk about her shield bash. This might be the best stun in the game, and it is a huge part of playmaking with Brigitta. It's very powerful against all the squishy flankers. Genji can't reflect it, and Tracer is in big trouble if it hits. But it's also absolutely top tier in all brawl fights. That's assuming she's being paired with the right tanks, of course. The best way to frame the stun in your mind is to think of it like a much easier to apply and unblockable McCree stun. It is actually better than McCree's in several ways. Like I said earlier, Genji can't reflect this stun into your face, and it can't be eaten by D.Va's defense matrix. If your opponents have picked a team comp where they want to fight up close with you, they're very susceptible to this stun's potential. It's amazing in a Ryne v Ryne scenario, but particularly if your Ryne has Earth Shatter. If you time the stun well, it's an almost guaranteed huge slam. An enemy Ryne can do nothing about being hit by shield bash, as it simply goes straight through his shield. Another way in which it's better than McCree's flashbang. Also, anyone who channels ults on the ground, or ground-based heroes in general, like say Roadhog, are a great shield bash target. Roadhog can get his hook, take a breather, and his ultimate stuffed by it. It really is the best thing about her, and it's on quite a short cooldown, so always be on the lookout for ways to exploit it. Now her ranged attack, the rocket flail, is a bit overrated as a crowd control tool. Sure, you can hit a Doomfist or a Winston jumping at you, but good luck with that. But in our opinion, it's the guaranteed damage and the fact that it's a ranged hit that can really help you with the flow of proccing your Inspire passive that's actually the best use of it. More important is to not boot things away badly. just like Lucio. You have to be really careful not to boop things to safety. Now, in a similar vein, her repair kit is a little bit misunderstood, as I alluded to a little bit earlier. It's true, it does do 150 burst healing, and half of that will overcharge into armor if the target is already at full health, but you really do not want to be using it to do basic things like topping anyone off post poke like you would with any other healer. If you're being forced to heal with it in that way, you probably have a bad team comp, or the team is playing the comp wrong. You really want your Inspire passive to do most of the heavy lifting as far as healing is concerned. What repair kit is really good at is enabling aggro plays, or making huge clutch backline saves. Say your Zen gets dove by a Tracer. 75 armor is far more valuable in that duel than trying to heal up your tank after a poke battle. The reason bonus armor is so beneficial in a duel like that is because whenever armor takes damage, it reduces the damage by half, but not by more than 5 damage per individual hit. This means it's better against attacks with multiple smaller hits like Tracer's pistols than it is against big burst damage sources like, say, McCree's Peacekeeper. However, no matter what you're being hit by, it's still more protection than regular health. 75 armor makes Zen much more resilient to Tracer's weapons specifically. If you can clutch that play out, the impact can be absolutely massive. If we just return to the aggro plays I was talking about, and in this context I'm going to talk about tanks, giving Ryne extra armor makes him really hard to kill as you two brawl a fight out. It might seem a little counterintuitive to do that, but the pocket armor can really let Ryne play in a much more aggressive way than he's used to. Plus, if you're fighting with him, your Inspire passive will help extend his window of destruction even further. When supporting Ryne in that way, both Brigitta and Ryne get their ults very quickly. They boost each other in a very complementary and synergistic way. That playstyle really is very strong. It's true, her shield is tiny, but it is still useful at blocking some spam to help your main shield stay up. It's also great at keeping yourself alive against ranged heroes, which is quite unique for a support actually, because if you keep it up while line of sighting a Widow for instance, you're far less vulnerable than every other support in the game, as all the other supports in a neutral state just have their heads showing. It's really great for keeping yourself alive as you try and isolate the right target for your next shield bash stun. At first, Brigitta's ultimate can seem hard to optimize. It can give your teammates 300 armor over the course of the ult, but the initial capacity is only 150 per hero. We found that the most practical way to use it is using it early to build up to that 150 cap, and then engage with your team to keep the rest coming as you fight. Using it in this way will also allow you to start getting your Inspire passive going as well. It actually can be very potent like that, almost like a Lucio drop the beat on initiation, except this has armor that doesn't go away unless it's physically removed through damage. As a final section, I'd kind of like to talk about the flow of playing Brigitta. Her playstyle involves a lot of holding, a lot of lurking, and looking for the best stun targets. Sneaking in melee hits whenever possible is great, as that will help you get regular proccing of Inspire, and that's crucial because, like I said earlier, that's what you want to use to do most of your healing. If you can manage that, what you're actually doing is saving the rest of her kit for playmaking. Help your team going forwards by enabling aggressive play, or save someone from death in the backline with a clutch play. That's what she's really amazing at. If you use her in the right context, on the right maps, with the right heroes, Brigitta can be absolutely devastating in her niche. And to show that, I'm going to do a breakdown play-by-play of this clip from Eichenwald First Point Defense. The reason I picked this one is because it's got a bit of everything as far as Brigitta is concerned. FREEDO really supports and saves me as Ryne a number of times, and is the biggest reason as to why we go on to win the team fight. Now at the start of this clip, we're just shields up looking to where the enemy are going to shape up to fight. McCree flanks into the small room to our left and flashbangs me. FREEDO shield bashes him and shoos him away. I try and follow up on this, but I get shield bashed in turn and stunned again by the enemy Brigitta. FREEDO clutches a repair kit on me and saves my life. We back out and the enemy in turn try and finish me off. FREEDO shield bashes the enemy Doomfist in a trade before he can combo, and we brawl the fight out here. Our Ana hits a sick anti-nade. FREEDO shield bashes their Ryne, and I follow up by pinning into the room and killing him. He then repair packs me so we can keep on fighting. He kills the enemy Brigitta and we just brawl out into the enemy spawn. Because we fought so much at this point, FREEDO is very close to his ultimate. We keep fighting and FREEDO actually uses all of Brigitta's kit in this exchange. In such narrow confines, the enemy team can't really do anything. There's so much health and armor and melee damage coming at them that eventually they have no choice but to sit in spawn and regroup, and we get out safely. The reason I like that clip so much is because it really helps illustrate the flow of Brigitta. Plus it shows off the strength of shield bash and the clutch potential of repair kit to help extend a brawl fight in your favor. I really hope that this video helps you understand the character better, and I hope you enjoyed it too. Let us know in the comments what you think of Brigitta and her place in the game. If you never want to miss another video of ours again, please click the bell icon next to the subscribe button on our channel to join the notification squad. You'll be in great company. And finally, please follow the Your Overwatch Twitter. It's where you can find updates about new videos and other cool stuff. I've been Eddie the Chump, and until next time,